you need to teach them everything. If you want them to learn how to take care of themselves, you have got to teach them why they're doing it, the proper way to do it, and why it benefits them. They do not yet have the brain capacity to understand the full weight of everything that they do until they experience it. So because if you want them to get involved in something and take it on their own, you have to go through it with them so they feel the importance and they feel that it's not that hard, and that the reward that they get when they're finished, not only the reward that we give them for completing a task, but the reward that they feel themselves for doing something that they know is going to affect their lives in a positive way. There comes a point where they are going to take everything that you have taught them and run with it. That is the point where you better be damn sure that you have taught them the correct habits, how to be a good person, what they can do to make their lives easier when they become adults. Because being a kid is easy. And people can say, yeah, you have bad childhoods and all that, and I understand that. Not everyone, but the majority of people, their childhood is easy. So time flies when you're a kid. Spending it all messing around, playing with Play-Doh and sniffing glue is not going to help you when you're an adult. We obviously need to make sure that they have fun, because you don't want them to have a bad childhood. You want them to have a great childhood. But the way that people think about it is so backwards. Because what is better about a childhood than being able to remember the times when you learned something that no one else your age knew? Knowing philosophy, knowing math that no one else knows, knowing how to cook, knowing how to take care of yourself, and knowing that for now you have someone who, if you have a problem, is not going to tell you how to do it exactly, not going to do it for you, but is going to walk you through it, and is willing to tell you when you're doing something wrong, but not in a mean way. Say, this is something you can do better. This is the reason. This is the benefit. They're smart. All kids are smart. The problem is we look at them one day and we see something they do and we'll say, oh man, he must be dumb or something. What's wrong with these kids? And we're so focused on ourselves, we don't pay enough attention to the changes when they happen. That is what you have to look for, are the subtle changes in body language or words that are different. Something they say, a phrase that's more mature than what they would say. You have to look for those opportunities of big, good change and attack. I don't mean attack them. I mean take advantage of big changes in their lives, because those are the times when you can affect them the most in a positive way. So, because what's going on is their hormones are racing, or, endorphins, all of that stuff. Anytime someone is in a hyper emotional state, they are easily influenced. Okay? So, you have two choices. You can ignore them and let one of their dumb friends or some other thing or TV influence them, or you can influence them at that point. And if you influence them at the right moment, something will click. You ever had that moment where you were trying something really hard and you gave up a couple times? You're like, oh, I can't do this. I'm never going to get this. But you keep at it. And then all of a sudden, everything just makes sense. Suddenly that math problem isn't so hard. Suddenly you're the best at that math problem out of anyone. You ever had one of those moments? The kids at that age have so many of those moments. And we waste them because we're too focused on ourselves. I mean, you got to live your life. You can't just be obsessed with them. That's the worst thing you can do. But you got to learn how to multitask. You can be on your phone in your room, and you can be listening to what they're doing at the same time. It's good for your brain. Okay? Pay attention to them and wait for those moments. And you wouldn't have to pay so much attention to the moments if you pay attention to them in general, their overall body language and how they are over a couple of days. And look for the changes. You'll see them coming if you pay attention. And don't be afraid to be hard on them, because it will suck for you more than it will for them. Way more. Because we love them. If you're watching this video right now, you've searched parenting, so you obviously care. But do you really care? Or do you pretend to care? Or are you too lazy to do what it takes to do what's best for them? Just to put it out there, I'm not a perfect person at all. This is pretty much one of the only things that I'm good at these days. I mean, I'm good at things, but this is the one thing in my life that I have been able to really never give up on and never do half-assed. And it's rewarding. Even though no one, nobody tells me, oh, you're such a good dad. You've taken these kids in that weren't yours, da da da. Nobody ever tells me that. But it's not about me. And it's not about you. When you become a parent, you have to be selfless. And you should be selfless. Everything you do should be what is best for them, no matter how it affects you. The only reason you should be worried about yourself is to make sure you stay alive long enough for them. Other than that, all of your attention, everything you have, should be devoted to what is best for them. And you'll find that if you pay attention, you'll come up with your own ways of doing things. It's putting them in the corner is not always the best thing. You got to look at what they're doing and read them and really think, what are they thinking? What are their influences? Why are they thinking these things? What can I do to direct them in the right direction without forcing it on them? How can I get them to learn that this is good for them? Because that is how they learn, is basically through action, but they won't get to that action easily. And it'll be a lot harder if you wait till they get older, and you'll regret it. I'm telling you right now, you will regret it just as much as, when they're older and they're struggling, you will regret it. And you'll want to go back and then you'll baby your grandkids, and then maybe you'll regret that too because you baby them. Take the time, just like they need to take the time now while they're in school, to make their life easier when they graduate, so they don't have to work so hard then. Get it out of the way now. For you as a parent, you need to take the time now. You need to take the time now and work and do it for them, so you don't have to struggle in 10 years when they're struggling. You don't have to watch them struggle and wish that you could turn back time and be harder on them. I mean, mine are still reasonably young, so I can't really say I know what that feels like. But I will tell you that I can imagine if you don't do that, from what I see from these kids, in the world today, all these kids on wearing masks and acting like morons, you will suffer a lot more watching your kids struggle than as an adult than you will if you teach them right now and let them struggle for a couple minutes. I promise you that. I mean, there won't be a lot of things I'll promise you and in all of this. Because I don't know your kid or anything, but I'm telling you that if there's one thing that you can listen to from me, being that I've been reasonably successful, although they're still young and I could be totally wrong, but I'm not normally wrong. If you do it now and you teach them the habits, make them learn, make them enjoy learning. And when I say make them, once again, I don't mean like shove it down their throats. Sometimes you have to, but only to get them to snap out of it. What I mean is, show them the path and don't let them deviate too much from the path, but let them do it on their own. Let them be them. Let them find their best selves that they can be. I look back, I wish when I was, that age that I would have had that influence of allowing me to be myself, but stricter. Actually, for me, because I'm so kind of against authority, probably would have been better if they would have just not let me have my own thing at all. But I'm not going to look back. I regret nothing. And I know this is probably going to be really long. It's been a while, but I don't know. It's the one thing that I'm actually proud about that I've done. And I feel like a lot of people are putting themselves through a lot of unnecessary suffering that they shouldn't have to be going through, when they're 50 and 40, because they're going through the whole suffering again, like when they were having their hardest part in their lives. They're going through it again when they get to be 40 and 50, because their kids are out of control. When they turn 18 and 20, with the morality in the world, well, lack thereof, that they're having to relive that pain. The pain of having to tell your kid no, but on a much harder scale, because now your kid's an adult, and it's very hard to get an adult to make big changes like that. It's very easy to get a kid to do it if you pay attention. So, if anybody likes these, I'm probably going to do some more. Actually, I don't really care if you like them or not. I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, if you guys want, you can check out my website. I'll put it on there. But, yeah, just learn to care and learn to look around you, not just at yourself. So right now I'm talking to you. But if my kids were here, I'd be listening in there too. They're at school. And involve them in your things that you like to do. Get them involved. Spend time with them. Not train them, but show them how adults act. Show them maturity. You can be goofy. You can be all that. But you got to show them when it's time not to be goofy. And they need to stop. When you say stop, it's stop. Anyways, my name's Daniel Hendrick. Pleasure to meet you guys all. I hope that your weather at your place is better than mine. It sucks here. Anyways, have a great day.